Today we're going to be discussing Andrew Kick Your Fucking Ass Jackson. Andrew Jackson was the 7th president of the United States. His face is on the $20 bill. That's about as much as the average American knows about him, which is sad because that means the average person doesn't even know the best part about him, and that is that he's the baddest motherfucker that ever lived. Facts don't lie, people. And after I lay out the facts, you're going to reach the same conclusion I did. That he is either the single coolest, toughest, honor-filled man who fears nobody and protects the weak fucking badass warrior, or he's possibly a demigod. I'll let you make the call. His story starts at the tender age of 13. He grew up poor. No father, single mother trying to provide for him and his brother, right in the middle of the Revolutionary War. Even at 13, Jackson understood what was at risk. Our nation's freedom. And like the badass he is, he joined the army at 13 years old, but was soon captured by the English and imprisoned. The English soldier in charge of Andrew forced him to shine his boots. When Andrew refused, the guard drew his sword and slashed it at Andrew's face, but was shocked as the blade made a dead stop in midair. On the other end of that sword was the fist of young Andrew Jackson, only inches away from his face like a fucking ninja. The guard pulled his sword back, slicing his hand open, but Jackson stood perfectly still. It took it like a champ. He got released in a prisoner exchange deal. He then loses his brother and his mother within a year and is now an orphan. He was a self-educated man. He became a lawyer until his country needed him once again. He answered the call. Rising to the rank of general, he kicked ass all the way to the top in the Battle of New Orleans, where he fought the English. Everyone thought he was going to lose this battle. This was a suicide mission, and his army, his battalion of men, were made up of freed slaves, Indians, and even a few pirates. They were a ragtag motley crew. But did that stop Jackson? Fuck no! Because he kicked the shit out of the fucking English and personally led the charge over the hill and fucking rocked these red coat motherfuckers. Now he continued his ass kicking all the way up into the US Senate, where he continued to be a badass, and the legend of Old Hickory was born. Now, are you going to sit there and tell me that that's not the baddest cane you ever seen in your life? You bet your sweet ass it is. Countless men have tasted the wrath of Old Hickory's cold, solid brass handle grip. Jackson was a black belt in cane kata, an ancient martial art I literally just made up. And if you dared to disrespect him or question his honor or integrity, he would demonstrate these skills upside your fucking head. One time he was in a debate with a member of the Senate when the man made an insulting remark about Jackson's wife. Jackson politely walked past the other members of the Senate and calmly proceeded to bash them in the mouth repeatedly with Old Hickory. Another famous account was during the very first attempted assassination of an American president. A man named Richard Lawrence approached Jackson outside the Capitol, pulled his pistol and fires, but nothing happens. He immediately pulls a second gun and fires at the now charging president. Again, nothing happens. He looks down in bewilderment at the pistols, then looks up to see the last glinting image of his own warped reflection in the brass handle of Old Hickory. Blah! The president beat him within an inch of his life and had to be pulled off by his own men, who were in turn beaten from preventing the president from gaining that last inch until he was overwhelmed by his own men. Jackson was a perfect gentleman. When it came to his women, he defended them as such, especially his wife and his kids. He had many children, 7 in fact, and he loved them all very much. His children were his whole life. They were always around. The fact that they were all adopted meant nothing. Jackson could not have children of his own. They were a real family, and he would protect them with his life. If Jackson felt your insults went too far, he would challenge you to a duel. A fucking fight to the death, people! It's been said that he's been in over 100 duels, but we're going to talk about his most famous one, between him and his arch nemesis, Charles the Dick Dixon. Now these two had been going at it for years. Dixon, 29, a young man, was no joke. He was an excellent marksman. He could put 4 bullets in a $50 from 20 paces away. By this time, he had already killed 23 other men in previous duels. Jackson, 48, had killed none. He was a terrible shot. Nevertheless, he challenged Dixon to a duel. Dixon had accused him and his wife of committing adultery in the middle of the Senate. Jackson pulled out his pistola and fired at the coward, who ran out of the Senate. The challenge was set. The two men, along with their 2 homies, met for the final showdown. Jackson knew he had to take his time and aim, no matter what, if he hoped to win this duel. They stood 20 paces apart, and when the signal was given, Dixon turned, aimed, and fired straight at his heart. But Jackson doesn't move. He doesn't even flinch. Men from both sides gasped in disbelief when Dixon said, "My God! Have I missed him?" Jackson slowly lowers his weapon, takes aim, and blows Dixon out of his fucking pantaloons and says, "No, you didn't." He had in fact hit Jackson dead in his chest, only an inch away from his heart, but the incredible badass didn't even react. He took it like a champ and took his time, aimed, boom! Game over, bitches. Later on, as the doctor worked on him, it's reported the doctor said to Jackson he was amazed he was able to even stand after taking a hit like that, and the amount of blood that was lost, let alone aim and fire his weapon, to which Jackson replied, "I would have stood long enough even if he had put a bullet in my brain." God damn, I love this guy!